Alright, settle down. When it comes to Sonic Frontiers, Sega's latest installment into the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, in the marketing there has been an emphasis on not only the scope of the game, but the duration as well, with the game's director Mario Kishimoto boasting a 20-hour playtime, this marking a significant increase in playtime from previous Sonic games. So this got me thinking all about why Sonic games became so short in the recent years, and what Sega are doing to finally turn that around.
Wait a minute, slow down, I can't keep up. Oh, hello you. You remind me of my grandson. You know, my grandson is subscribed to Channel Pup because he talks about things like Marvel and DC Comics, movies, Sonic the Hedgehog, and different games. These whippersnappers and their games. When I was their age, me and my friends used to play on the playground playing finger butt. Yes, we used to chase each other around the playgrounds, sticking our fingers in each other's buttholes and seeing how long we could keep it there. Oh, such simple and wonderful times long before any of this LGBTQ nonsense. Well, anyways, subscribe to Channel Pup, hit the like button, and if you've got the cash to spare, you can help support the channel on his Patreon link in the description below. I have to go now. I need my catheter replaced, and I have diarrhea.
So from Sonic Adventure all the way through to around about Sonic Unleashed, you could expect approximately a 6 to 8 hour playtime out of your Sonic game. And this is purely taking into account like a casual playthrough. We're not talking like a speed run or anything like that. But then from Sonic Colors through to Sonic Forces, it felt like Sonic games were just getting shorter and shorter, with Sonic Colors clocking in around 3 hours all the way through to Sonic Forces, which can be casually beat in under 2 hours. So the question is, what happened? Why did Sonic games become so short? Simply put, Sonic got faster. Since the early Dreamcast era, Sonic has had a commitment to being more cinematic than your average platformer. Heck, cinematic elements can even be found in the classic Sonic games as well. So naturally they wanted Sonic's signature speed to be conveyed in a more cinematic way, something that appears more bullet-like, that makes Sonic feel almost like a force of nature. Elements of Sonic's high-speed platforming and momentum could be found in other platformers at this point, such as Mario games, Ratchet and Clank. You can find it all in there. So rather than just being like a high-speed platformer, Sega combined elements of racing games with platforming in order to make Sonic truly stand out from the crowd. And this was a huge success, with Sonic's blisteringly fast gameplay in Sonic Unleashed being applauded. Sonic Unleashed was the first of the 3D console Sonic games to employ the boost gameplay format seen in Sonic Rush. This would allow Sonic to move at such blisteringly high speeds is comparable to, say, like a fighter jet, as opposed to the more pinball-like gameplay that we'd come to expect from Sonic. This gave us a truly next-gen experience at the time, and would go on to become a staple of Sonic's gameplay in the 3D space. But Sonic Unleashed is by far the longest of the boost gameplay Sonic games. But why is that? Well, at the time it came out, Sonic Unleashed wasn't exactly a critical darling, and the reason for it was because there was an abundance of other gameplay styles in there. By night, Sonic would transform into the Werehog, who was significantly slowed down compared to his daytime speedy counterpart. This gameplay mode played host to God of War style brawling and platforming. We also had stages where Sonic would take control of the tornado, and moments where Sonic would have to slow down and speak to the villagers in different hub worlds to find out where to go next. All of this doing away with Sonic's signature speed that you cannot get anywhere else. Now, Sonic Unleashed fans, this is going to be a tough pill to swallow. It was for me too. I'm a huge Sonic Unleashed fan. If you take out all the additional fluff in Sonic Unleashed and just dial it down to those core daytime speed-based stages, Sonic Unleashed clocks in around about 20 minutes of playtime. As well as this, there was a heavy reliance on progression gating as well, with the player having to regularly revisit old levels to hunt for medallions. And as you can imagine, this wasn't very intuitive with the blisteringly fast gameplay of the daytime stages. So a bulk of Sonic Unleashed which was taken up by these vastly polarizing gameplay aspects, ones that I personally do enjoy, but at the same time, I do understand why people wanted more of the day stages and less of everything else. Enter Sonic Colors, a game made up entirely of boost-style Sonic stages. However, this game is significantly shorter, clocking in around about 2 to 3 hours of playtime. However, while there was just one singular playstyle this time, levels would often revolve around gimmicks. These gimmicks would slow the player down to push switches, or rotate platforms, or make use of the Wisp power-ups. These stages would also be mostly 2D and would reuse a lot of assets from previous levels in this game. So, what happened here then? Well, a very early beta of Sonic Colors featured just a handful of the levels that are in the final versions, and these were by far the best levels in the game. The ones that felt most purposeful as Sonic levels, the ones that allowed the player to go a little faster, that featured mostly 3D gameplay. Yeah, these 2D gimmick stages were incorporated much later down the line because the game clocked in about 40 minutes tops. So a similar trend to this kind of made its way into games like Sonic Generations and Sonic Forces as well, with Sonic Generations employing a little bit of progression gating to get keys to the bosses, which involved challenge acts, but they tried what they could to bulk out these games a little more, be it adding a bit more 2D to the mix, be it adding classic Sonic, who's naturally a little slower than modern Sonic. They made the price tag of these games a little lower as well, just to make it a bit more stomachable that these games were quite significantly shorter. So Sega and Sonic Team were fully aware of the problem they were facing with longevity in Sonic games. But why wasn't this a problem in the past? Well, if we go back to the classic Sonic games, yeah, they take around about an hour a pop to beat. But that's fair enough because the standard was very different back then, and as well as that, you couldn't save in the majority of those games. And let's face it, you wouldn't want to play an 8-hour game, then get game over, and then have to play all 8 hours of that again. No, gaming has changed, and there is a much higher expectation for longevity these days. Sonic games have always kind of lived and died by replay value as well, so I think Sega tried to kind of flog that off as the reason for making games a little shorter, but even that wasn't really cutting the cheese when we came to Sonic Forces, which gave us less and less of the game to actually replay, with even the levels becoming shorter. So yes, while Sega had made Sonic a lot faster and ditched any playstyle that didn't boast a high speed factor, how come when we got to Sonic Forces, even the levels were becoming less substantial? And even then, games like Sonic Heroes were made entirely of high-speed gameplay. Why could they not match the duration of that game? Well, aside from Sonic Heroes having a lot of asset reuse and a lot of repetition, Sonic Heroes released in an entirely different console generation. As technology has progressed, the visuals in these games have become more impressive, with the environments being all the more intricate. But those environments don't just magically become more intricate, it requires more work. You look at stages in Sonic Adventure and it's just a mound with a bunch of earthy textures slapped on it. The geometry is incredibly basic and the textures are not very thoughtfully applied. In a post-Xbox 360 era world, there's a much higher expectation of the environments in these Sonic games, and you could say go for a more cartoony art style, but then they did in a game like Sonic Lost World, which was received poorly for looking like it was trying too hard to ape the Mario design philosophy, and I completely agree. I think it looks way too plasticky, it doesn't suit Sonic. Sonic's always had a slight urban edge to him. I mean, even if you look back at the Mega Drive games, those games were still very textured to look at compared to other games at the time. So the thing is, yes, you'd have your level designers and the people making the models for these levels working hours upon hours, days upon days, years upon years even, to make levels that Sonic could just make quick work of and just tear through in mere seconds. So Sega were facing kind of a problem when it came to Sonic. With advancements in technology moving parallel to expectations, making Sonic games was getting a lot harder. And after Sonic Forces, it would be a record-breaking 5 years until we'd see another mainline Sonic game with Sonic Frontiers, which has had by far the longest development cycle of any Sonic game to date, and promises to be the biggest and most substantial Sonic game yet. So what have they done? For starters, you've got 5 open zones. That's 5 levels overall, right? 5 levels? That's very short for a Sonic game, you would think. But these are massive sandboxes, and you are likely to cover the same ground more than once on these islands. But these islands serve more as massive playgrounds for Sonic, allowing the player to engage with that high-speed gameplay. But rather than the gameplay loop consisting of just getting from A to B, it matters more what you're doing within those worlds, taking part in missions, missions or puzzles or fighting against various enemies, which would mean that the moment-to-moment arcade-style structure for Sonic is surely lost on Sonic Frontiers. But no, another part of that gameplay loop is the cyberspace stages. Now, the cyberspace stages have been the subject of quite a bit of controversy. These are more traditional A to B Sonic stages where you focus on going fast, maintaining your speed, and getting to the finish line. And they kind of follow that pattern of the previous games, with them being shorter, more bite-sized stages. But that's not the only reason why these stages have proven controversial among Sonic fans. Asset reuse is the #1 reason, not just in the overall geometry of these stages, but in elements of their level design as well. Now, the main thing here is the optics. After Sonic Generations, we had Sonic Mania. After Sonic Mania, we had Sonic Forces. And then after Sonic Forces, we have Sonic Frontiers. That is 4 games that reuse level themes. The optics of that doesn't look good. As well as that, they're shorter again, as opposed to being the more substantial stages that we'd come to expect from, say, Sonic Unleashed, where daytime stages would last around 5 to 6 minutes. Now, first things first, these are a side feature. This is not the main meat of the game. The main meat is those open sandbox areas. But why could that side feature not consist of brand new stages? Or stages that are longer, more akin to the Sonic Unleashed style runtime? Here's where I'm going to kind of be answering that question. Why reuse parts of level geometry? Well, for one, there's a plot reason, but I still see that as kind of a cop-out. It's like saying, oh, we deliberately rehashed stuff. It doesn't change the fact you rehashed stuff. The reason here is kind of, as I said, in the past, Sonic Team would spend years slaving away at creating new geometry for levels that Sonic would just tear through in seconds. And that would all be the main feature of the game. However, in reusing existing assets that they have and creating new level layouts, creating new challenges and sort of remixes of these existing stages, a lot more of the time and the budget behind Sonic Frontiers could be invested into those open sandbox islands, which all feature original theming. So the bulk of Sonic Frontiers' gameplay will be spent in new locations. As well as that, to make these existing locations in cyberspace feel just that little bit fresher, their designs have been reworked while still using those existing assets. Things like Green Hill are now floating in the sky. Speed Highway is taking on a far more psychedelic appearance. Using these familiar assets with the shorter runtime of these stages as well allows them to create more of these stages. Now, there is an argument to be made saying I would rather have less stages that are more substantial than lots of bite-sized ones, but at the same time, Sonic Frontiers' open sandbox format requires lots of these different cyberspace stages to be in there. It needs a large number of them, so that's why they're shorter. Put it this way, let's say that each island plays host to 7 cyberspace stages, and that's the speculated number. That's approximately what we can expect. And let's say those cyberspace stages had entirely original level geometry and lasted around about 5 minutes a pop. 5 islands, 7 cyberspace stages per island. You end up with 35 stages. 35 brand new original stages. And let's say each of those stages is 5 minutes approximately. You end up with 175 minutes of playtime just on cyberspace alone. That's just under 3 hours, which, okay, that clocks in about the length of your average Sonic game before it. Now you want 5 open zones on top of that, all with brand new geometry, a new playstyle for Sonic, new combat system, new enemies to fight. You want to populate those worlds. It might just be a tad unrealistic, which is why Sonic Frontiers has clearly prioritized those open sandbox zones and giving them a far more intricate gameplay loop than just A to B like in your traditional Sonic game. I have also seen criticisms that these areas look very empty, that there's a lot of empty space, but you gotta take into account this can't be like, say, Breath of the Wild, where these areas are very densely populated because Sonic goes fast. He needs lots of space, he needs lots of ground to cover with his speed. So it does look as though Sonic Frontiers is a very smart way to maximize the playtime. You don't compromise on that high-speed experience, you don't compromise on that 3D gameplay either, and it's a game that's asking what more can we get out of a larger Sonic stage. The way I see it, like the Werehog, like the 2D platforming, like classic Sonic, this open zone is another throw of the dice from Sega. Another attempt at getting longevity out of Sonic. And if this fails, if this doesn't work out, if people don't like the open zones, I'm not sure what Sega can really do next to make Sonic games feel longer and bulky. I feel like Sonic would have to regress into being more of an arcadey style title. That doesn't mean it has to be 2D pixel art and stuff like that, but you'd focus more on, I guess, the idea of just replaying these levels for the cheap thrills. And that is kind of something that wears off pretty quickly. The reality is, if Sonic wants to keep up with expectations and keep up with the technology and the advancements that we're getting out of gaming now, something in that formula has to change, whether it be slowing Sonic down or enlarging the size of these levels and the time we spend there. And I think the open zone format is a really smart idea. And if this works, this could be the format Sonic games are going into forever. This could be a permanent fixture. It's already been teased that Takashi Iizuka wants this to be the formula going forward for the next 10 years. I think the challenge they'll have, though, is if they're giving us 5 new islands every game, I don't think they can just give us the same level themes for cyberspace stages over and over again, unless they are just really that fun. And I suppose if those open zones are substantial and original enough, I guess I could forgive cyberspace revolving around the same themes, or reusing the same assets, but I do think that cyberspace is a tank with not a huge amount of gas in it. It could be that while they build 5 new islands for the next game, maybe the cyberspace stage equivalent in that next game could take geometry from the previous open stages. So we get bite-sized chunks of Kronos Island and Ares Island from Sonic Frontiers in the next open zone Sonic game. Maybe that's just it. Maybe just those A to B levels need to be somewhat recycled. I don't know. But like, they're going to need fresh assets to a certain extent. Like, they can't reuse the same assets forever. I guess we'll see it in time. I guess right now they're just trying to fix that longevity problem. I'm just hoping that they've got enough gas in the tank to keep that moving forward. Sonic is a difficult IP to manage in the modern day. It's a difficult IP to keep consistently refreshed and keep up with the gaming trends of the time. This is a character that used to compete with Mario, and if we expect him to compete with Mario again now, something does have to change. And I think Sonic Frontiers could be the throw of the dice to fix that. It looks like a very smartly put together experience. I will say this as well though, this video is not supposed to invalidate anyone that is disappointed by asset reuse. I myself am a little disappointed at asset reuse, but I'm kind of trying to understand why this has been done. Even if I am a little disappointed by that, I do accept the fact that they are using reused assets for these cyberspace stages. I'm just hoping that those open zones are really substantial. So guys, sound off in the comments below with your thoughts. Do you think Sega have the right idea this time? Do you think this is the right way for the franchise to go forward? Discuss it. Alright, roll outro. I say, you've made it to the end of the video! Congrats. No, but seriously, thanks a bunch for watching. And just now, I'll be extending a special thanks to the patrons in the $10 tier, who are the amazing Adam Myers, the courageous Ken K, the legendary Ray Ray, the magnificent Mr. SP, and the super Sergio. What an amazing and generous bunch of people. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to join the ranks of these amazing people right here, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Guys, these are not the easiest times in the world financially, so every little bit you folks are donating is doing wonders. I really would love to be able to do YouTube as a proper fully fledged career someday. It might just be a pipe dream, but maybe you guys can prove some people wrong. But of course, if donations aren't your thing, then, well, it means plenty to me that you just hit that cute little subscribe button over there. I didn't mean hit that way. Well, that's me done for today. Thanks a whole bunch for your support, and have a fantastic day. I'm gonna see you so soon.